Hey guys, what's going on? We got another Enhancement Shaman Mythic Plus video. This time we are doing a plus 11 Cinderbrew meadery. This is probably my favorite dungeon out of the whole season. But the video is sped up just a little bit just to keep it from being a whole half hour. It's down to about 20 minutes. So yeah. But anyways, yeah. So this dungeon is probably my favorite. And the reason being is because of the pull sizes. Like the mob count is massive. How much you can pull at once, how much is getting pulled at once, and all the small little things that get pulled into it as well. For an enhancement shaman, this is amazing. I'm not gonna lie. And even so, I've been playing Brewmaster as well, and I've been enjoying this place too to tank. It's been honestly, this has to be like the best dungeon so far in the War Within. I'm not gonna lie, like, pull sizes feel great. The mobs don't feel too oppressive or anything like that. You can't over pull, meaning you can't pull the entire room because the tank gets a stacking debuff. Possibly, I haven't seen anybody on like 16s or anything like that. Those top people doing those crazy things that they usually do. But that's just my personal opinion. You can't pull the entire room because of the tank debuff, which is good. And then you also have Chef Chewy here, who adds in extra damage or something like that for the mobs too. So you have to be careful with that. But yeah, like everything about this dungeon is great, I think. I think this is like one of the perfect dungeons for the War Within. I might be on my own with this, but I honestly think this is how most dungeons should feel. High mob count, high pull sizes, nothing too crazy, a bit of AoE damage going out. But yeah, I don't know. As for the bosses, they're pretty interesting and unique. Um, First boss here, you do the bring the brew to the angry customers, and I pulled aggro here from doing way too much damage. What a surprise. But yeah, you bring the brew to the angry customers, and then the bartender comes out, and you do that twice, and then he spawns like little tornado thingies. So I don't know, it's pretty interesting. And then the bee boss, you have to ride the bee and launch it into barrels. So nothing difficult or hard, but kind of interesting. So I don't know. I've been really having fun with this place. You can just see us dying. That's because I keep pulling aggro, and it really sucks. And honestly, I should be interrupting the boiling whatever thing that's been happening, but DPS brain, you zug zug. But yeah, after this, we did attempt a 12 floodgate, which we came very close to timing. So we got like 15 seconds overtime. We definitely messed up a few times. Probably could have lusted a bit sooner, maybe. We lusted the first pull, and then we lusted Swamp Face, and then lust came up for the last minute of the last boss, and we just barely missed it. But we did have some mistakes on the last boss, like our tank got thunder punched into a puddle and died, and then he got thunder punched again and died. So, but we did have resurrections for it. It's just those that amount of time that we lost did cost the key, and we did have a couple of silly deaths along the way. But who doesn't have that? Especially when it's the first 12 of the season that we attempt, and it's Floodgate, which I believe is one of the hardest dungeons right now. Apparently, Priory is the hardest, which a Priory as well I really enjoy as a dungeon. Like the pull counts right now just feel really good, and I don't know about anybody else, but I enjoy when pull sizes are massive but not oppressive. You know what I mean? Like nothing's really gonna one shot you or anything like that if they cast off two AoEs or whatever at once, it just feels good. Like even Dark Flame Cleft as well. Like I think all these dungeons just feel great. But from an enhancement shaman point specifically, yeah, it feels great. I don't know about other classes other than Brewmaster that I've been playing or Mistweaver, but from my point of view as an enhancement shaman, honestly, it feels good. Even for Stormbringer, like I've been playing Stormbringer every so often. I've been working around it as well, trying to see if I can't get it to compete with Totemic, but it seems very a little bit behind, but it does excel at single target. But overall, I think everything works out, and I did test a Fire Nova build, and Fire Nova actually deals less damage overall than Hailstorm would ever deal, and that's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie, it's very sad and disheartening to see. So, Fire Nova definitely needs like a 100% damage buff or something crazy like that to make it actually worthwhile taking. And when I say I test that, I mean I literally tested it with both Barrel Spirits and Frost Witch up, hitting 6 targets, and then using Hailstorm with Ice Strike and Frost Witch up as well to get its additional buffs, because Ice Strike and Fire Nova have the exact same cooldown, so it makes sense to have Ice Strike up every time you Hailstorm, and it did significantly less damage, which is absolutely pathetic considering the fact that Fire Nova is supposed to be a mass AoE effect, and Hailstorm is supposed to be a kind of select target where it's capped at 6 targets. I know Fire Nova is technically capped at 6 targets because each Fire Nova only deals damage to 6 targets, but technically you're hitting 36 targets because 6 flame shocks, 6 whatever's. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's kind of sad. Here we slowed down quite a lot in this dungeon. Crump wanted to skip the next pack, but the rogue had other ideas. I kept saying, let's go, go, go. But, we were taking a bit of time, so we definitely could have sped it up a little bit. We definitely lost a whole bunch of time just messing around with these little slimes. But yeah, so for enhancement specifically, Stormbringer is up there, and if you do want to play it, don't feel bad or anything like that. You're going to be competitive with the other classes, but if you run into another Enhancement Shaman that is playing Totemic, you are probably going to get steamrolled in damage. It's just what's going to happen. Like, Totemic just deals that much damage. But I haven't fully tested the other build that they recommend with Primordial Storm and Ascendance at the same time. It, to me, that build is super clunky and weird, so I try to stay away from it. But honestly, right now I'm just enjoying Totemic. The playstyle is very nice and simple. There's no difficulty behind it. It's all just keep your Frost Switch up, spam Lava Lash as much as possible, and rotate your cooldowns and try and combo them all together. So far, everything has just felt amazing about enhancement. And come Tuesday, we aren't seeing any changes to us, which is even better because honestly, enhancement is in a perfect position. We're good, but we're not too good. Like we're up there, and honestly, last season we were up there quite a bit, and then we got I believe we got nerfed a little bit or pretty hard. But that isn't to say we could see something in the future. Who knows? But I don't think so because I feel like enhancement is like perfect right now, almost. And that could just be a biased opinion because I play enhancement, but right now it feels quite perfect and I'm happy with it and I want it to stay this way. And there is one other thing that I'm trying to remember about and I'm having a trouble time remembering it. So we're going to skip over that. But anyways, for the tier set. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. So this is the second time. So on PTR, our tier set is not was extremely powerful and was nerfed. And this goes the exact same for season 1. Our tier sets have been nerfed almost, I think about 50 or 70% from what they were on the P tier, which is absolutely insane. I'm not sure how or why this keeps happening, but Blizzard seems to make our tier set extremely overpowered on the PTR and all the testing, and then when we get to live, it is cut in half because of how powerful it was. I don't know how it ends up happening, but I find it absolutely hilarious because Crash Lightning used to do like 150% increased damage to the primary target, plus a significantly increased amount to its overall damage as well, which was hilarious. And to an extent, it was originally buffing or reducing Doomwind's cooldown rather than giving us Doomwinds, but I still find it funny that it was like a 200% increased damage to Crash Lightning's primary target, and now we're all the way down to like 75% or something. It's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. And like the same thing went last season where it was your abilities or whatever have a chance to summon a feral spirit. I think that's what it was. and then it got reduced to your feral spirit summons a or an additional feral spirit because we were turning into like a BM hunter or a demonology warlock. I've found that so funny. And the fact that it happened again this season is absolutely hilarious. But it goes to show that the shaman creators and designers actually love our spec and are finally understanding the way it works, and I am so happy about that because I think Enhancement has one of the best DPS toolkits out there, and, it really shows, and I'm happy. And it would be nice to see some love go to Stormbringer maybe, but then again, like, it's kind of weird because last season it was all about Stormbringer until about the half patch, or maybe it was like the .7 patch, and then Totemic took over, but we weren't using the full toolkit of Totemic because we were running a storm build around Ascendance and not Lavalash. And now we're actually using the full toolkit of Totemic, which is nice to see. But the fact that Totemic took over Stormbringer without utilizing its whole kit is not something that I think should be possible. So seeing it come together now is great, but I'd like to see them maybe buff Stormbringer a bit somehow. As to how that is, I'm not sure exactly. I think it's very, very powerful in single target, but maybe buff its AoE. So maybe buff Tempest Cleave or something like that, just to bring it up a notch and make it somewhat competitive, maybe. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't fully tested the other build or seen much on it with the Stormbringer Primordial Storm, so I think some things could be very unique with that. But yeah, I'd like to see that in a way because it is nice to see both hero talents being used. I know many classes right now only stick to one hero talent throughout the entire thing, so that I feel bad about for other classes. But for enhancement, we've had the best luck this entire expansion, which I'm happy about. As for PvP, that's a whole different other situation, but they're working on it. But anyways, guys, that is gonna be it for my commentary. Just to wrap things up, I love enhancement. I accidentally pressed my BG thing there. I don't know. It's my keybinds. But yeah, I love enhancement. I love this season so far. I'm having so much fun and enjoying it. I can't wait to do more keys. And typically, I am doing keys Saturdays during the day. So if you want to check that out, feel free. Usually around 1 Eastern-ish, somewhere around there. We usually go for about an hour or two. But again, we did have the servers crash once again on the Saturday. And if you were there for the last session of Keys 2 last weekend, it crashed then too, and it was quite sad. I guess Blizzard's getting DDoSed, which really sucks. But anyways, that is it for my commentary. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video too. Anyways, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your night or day, and thank you so much for watching. Laters!
That mean elemental took months of R&D! You goody goodies don't know who you're dealing with! You do any more damage, and I'll cash you out, you hear me?
A willing sacrifice has been made. find at Goldie's office. Come back to the taps to use them.
You take out my bomb man, my prototype, and my beekeeper. And now you're riding my bees like some nature-loving weirdo? I guess I'm gonna have to show ya and your rock-headed friend who's boss!
A willing sacrifice has been prepared.
Alright, you may have gotten my employees, but now you're dealing with the BEO herself!